Hello everybody, welcome to a video. My name is Sam, and welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You know what that means? It means that we're going to be talking about a topic and getting into the slight depths of it as we go along in the topic. So, what are we actually talking about today? Well, I kind of want to talk about if Steam versus, like, PlayStation and Xbox is a monopoly. Like, when it comes to, like, these places and where you can play these games and stuff, often enough Steam gets called a monopoly. And does it seem accurate? Does it make sense to be a monopoly? Is it actually a monopoly? Like, yeah, if Steam is a monopoly, like, I guess you would count it as, like, it is just very good at what it does. Like, Steam doesn't purchase any of the competition. They don't have market dominance in that way. They don't. God, you're gonna just flip each side, aren't you? Yeah, they don't have market dominance by purchasing every studio, as some studios do. And they don't have market dominance in the way of, like, they own every single bit of store on PC, because they're a PC storefront. And, like, Epic Games exists, and that's great in some ways, awful in others. I hate Epic Games. I don't personally use Epic Games, and they have, like, Fortnite and stuff on, but, like, I don't particularly play Fortnite. And, like, yeah, if Fortnite was on Steam, maybe I'd possibly check it out more often, but it's not really worth it for me. Like, when it comes to, like, that versus, like, playing on Steam, it's not worth it. And God, how many is gonna walk into me? How many is going to walk into me at the current moment? So, yeah, I don't see Steam as a monopoly. Steam, like, when you turn around and say that someone who is, like, really good at, like, their job and stuff, like, say someone's, like, a really good gamer, like, you don't call them, like a monopoly or something like that when it comes to being a good gamer. Like, in the end of the day, Steam has done very well for themselves, yes. But they have done really well because they listen to their audience, at least most of the time. And, like, the Steam machine would be amazing to be able to, of course, be cheaper. But also, at the same time, they're not looking to make it cheaper because it's a PC. It's a PC in the end of the day. And if you made PCs cheaper than what it is on the market, it then causes a huge boat of issues when it comes to, like, how these sorts of things, like, work and all of that. Like, you would have a lot of AI data centers snatch them up and start using them. What is great for Valve in some form of way because they're getting sales, but also at the same time, because it's not as of cost, it means that they are losing money in the whole of everything. So, yeah, it's the case of, like, I understand going at cost, because in the end of the day, you don't have to use Steam on it. You could put Windows on it, you could put whatever other operating system you want on it. It is a PC in the end of the day. Is it a high-end PC? Not really. And I guess that's the problem with a Steam machine, is it is not a high-end PC. Like, people are trying to compare it to, like all of these different consoles and stuff, and it's like, yeah, these consoles that are increasing in price are pretty much monopolies in themselves, because, well, you can't really do much about, oh, my PlayStation is using this operating system, because that's what your PlayStation uses. It uses, like, the PlayStation operating system, and that's it. And it's same with Xbox. It uses the Xbox operating system. You can't change that. Well, you can, but it voids their TOS, and it also means that, like, I think they have, like, full permission to be able to, like, brick your console as well. What is insane to think about, that, like, something that you purchased, like, fully can be just taken away from you. And, like, Valve is very much trying to not do that. They're making sure that they are, like, hey, you can use it as a PC, you can put Windows on it if you want, you can do whatever you want, but what we're going to do is we're going to try... Oh, that was a really weak throw. But we're going to try and make it so that this console PC thing that we've got and we made for you, you can use in the best way possible to play your games, and we're going to improve it over time. Like, that's one of the big things. Like, the Steam machine is in the worst possible position it is now. Like, it is only going to get better from here. Like, the controller is only going to improve in like, battery life, or at least, like the firmware updates, so that it knows what games and what to do. But also at the same time, like, it's only going to improve on, like, the Steam machine itself. Like, games can be optimized as well as they can have native Linux supported versions. And I would love that for, like, this sort of game in the future. Like, this at the current moment. Nice. At the current moment, like, this game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, can't be played on a Steam machine. It can't be played on Steam OS. And that's because it's not available on Linux. And that's not because, hey, Proton doesn't, like, Proton is a compatibility layer. Like, Proton doesn't completely work with it. It's because of the anti-cheat. And anti-cheat is an okay thing. But when it's like... Ooh. No, that's not good. When anti-cheat is like kernel level and stuff like that, it does need to be looked at, and that's one of the things that Valve is doing. They are looking at the kernel level anti-cheat and trying to work out a way or a solution to be able to make it so that it operates. And that means that we might be able to actually play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 onwards at some stage in the future on the Steam machine or through SteamOS on your own PC or whatever you want to do. And that's the thing, like, I see a market where people might be able to actually build their own Steam machines and sell them. And, like, if you want to sell them at a loss, go ahead. Like, it's PC hardware that you're going to be selling at a loss. It's not probably a good idea to do that. But when it comes to, like, actual making a Steam machine that functions and does all the things, it's really awesome to know that people can do that now. Like, Steam has released the operating system and all this other stuff, so it's great that you can do that. And I don't count that as monopolistic practices, as turning around and removing the possibility of purchasing CDs and all that. Whilst Valve doesn't have CDs, like I said, they're not the only market. And, like, when you are not the only market, it's great. PlayStation, you can only purchase PlayStation games. Xbox, you can only purchase Xbox games. And I believe Xbox is trying to change that in the future. You might be able to get Steam on there, and that's going to be really cool to be able to actually see, and would be great for non-monopolistic practices. Apart from that, they own a lot of different studios, what does cause a little bit of an issue, because like Microsoft, or at least Xbox, owns things like Blizzard, what is like Overwatch, and they also own Activision, what owns a lot of Call of Duty, and sort of sets the prices and all that of Call of Duty. And then their Game Pass makes it even more like a monopoly, where they are forcing, well, they're not forcing people, but they're making it so that it's like, hey, we're making it so that it's fair enough to be able to, you're outside. We're making it so that it's like, okay, you can get the Game Pass on the Xbox or whatever and play a decent portion of our library. And it's like, that's fair enough in some form of way. But also at the same time, it's kind of bullshit where it's like, hey, you can access like a ton of games across multiple different platforms and things and get like advantages from that. And it's like, even being able to play like the latest Call of Duty when that releases, it's like, hey, you could pay like £80+ to be able to purchase this game, but you pay for the pass, what means that you now get it for like cheaper. And that's the insanity of like Game Passes and PlayStation Plus and all this other stuff, is the fact that they can basically put a price on it, whatever they really want to feasibly do. That was not a hit. And that's where I see PlayStation and Xbox more as a monopoly, especially as they keep on purchasing studios and then closing the doors, and like, they shouldn't be able to purchase studios and do all of this other stuff. Steam, I don't think I've ever seen that they've purchased a studio. They may have at one stage, but I don't know. I've never seen them purchase a studio before. And that's the thing, they don't purchase studios to own their IPs or anything like that. Like, that is not a thing that Valve does. As they create their games, yeah, occasionally, but they also created the storefront of Steam and all that. Like, there's things that they've done to make it easier for themselves, but then in turn went, you know what, we'll just charge you a small amount for being able to put your game on our store, and on top of that, their prices are reasonably fair. The 30% is on average, and like, it's not terrible at all. So, at least in my thoughts, Steam isn't really a monopoly. But PlayStation and Xbox might be at this point. But there you go, I've got a 1.25 KD in that game where I got 20 kills and 16 deaths and 2 assists. But thank you very much for listening to me ramble about how Steam is probably not a monopoly, but PlayStation and Xbox probably is. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. I'm gonna be making like short videos like this through the next week, because I've got a lot going on at the current moment through this week. This video should be releasing on Thursday, and I should be doing my motorcycle compulsory basic training in the UK, or CBT. I should be doing that at the current moment, or I should be past, hopefully, because this should be releasing at 6 PM on that day. So hopefully I passed. Hopefully you can wish me all luck and everything. And yeah, I've got a few other things going on through the week, so I'll be creating some extra videos and all that. But thank you very much for watching. I've been Sam, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.